I have it on Facebook too. Yeah, so if you see me looking back and forth, I've got the laptop here. And let me know if you can hear me too, because I have my external mic with the iPhone, but then I have just a regular MacBook mic on Facebook Live. So I've got them both going at the same time. I got the following on Facebook has grown so much that Instagram, like I never really tried the Instagram lives, to be honest with you. Like, Instagram is probably of all my social medias the one that I give the least attention to, but Facebook really, really picked up. So it's gonna look like I'm looking back and forth. I tried to put my phone and laptop as close to each other as possible, so it's not as obvious that I'm looking back and forth, but basically my plan is to just flip back and forth, questions on Facebook, questions on TikTok, and then I'll read the questions out loud. That way, if I'm answering like a Facebook question, for example, my TikTok people aren't wondering what I'm talking about. I'll read the questions out loud. I am in the homeschool shed with no AC. I'm so hot right now. The link that I sent out, yeah, I know. A lot of people had questions about that. The links for the Facebook Live compared to like the TikTok Live. Yeah. Hold on. I fed them. Everything's done. They just need to go out. Yeah. The puppies. Yeah, they need to go out. Yes. So I have it on both. Yeah. And that's why I know I'll say it like a million times. I keep looking back and forth between my Facebook and my TikTok because it's on both. But I'll be answering questions. I'll just read the questions out loud on both platforms. I set the time for 8:30. I did a poll a while back asking people like what's the best time to go live, like for everybody else. For me personally, the best time to go live is like 2 p.m. in the middle of the afternoon because that's when my kids are napping, but I know that's not like the best time for everybody else. So most of the people in the poll said that later at night, 8:30. I'm Eastern time, so like I know I have a lot of Pacific people. So 8:30 was just like the latest that I was willing to go, especially because we usually go for like a couple hours. Hey. I know everybody's popping in. They have you like pre-register for the lives. You do not have to do that, you guys. So if you're like, a lot of people are like, do I have to register? No. And then as a matter of fact, all of the lives that I do on any of the platforms, I always repost to YouTube anyways. Like just the full thing, the full 2 hours goes on YouTube. So a lot of people that can't make it or whatever, I just put it on there. Yeah, and I have exactly. I have the Facebook one going on the other computer. Never done a Facebook Live before, so this is like a whole new world. But my TikTok people who are used to me going live, it's the same thing goes where you just post your comments down below. I'm going to be showing, you can't really see it right now, but I have one wall of curriculum over here, one table of curriculum over here, the curriculum table in front of me where the cameras are, and I am in the shed, and that's why I'm like dying of heat. It's so hot. And the girls are sleeping outside in a tent tonight with Ricky, and so you're going to hear them outside too. But that's okay. We went on vacation for the past week, and I had not been posting, and all of the comments and messages and questions, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do a live and try to answer as much as I can during the live instead of having to go and respond to each individual comment. Yes, if you share the live, it'll be pushed out. I don't know. I don't really know how the sharing of the live works. Usually we just, get it rolling. You start asking questions. Whitney says, okay, let me explain to my Facebook people too. My TikTok, if I'm looking this way, it's my TikTok. If I'm looking this way, it's my Facebook, but I'm just going to answer questions for all. My opinion about the life pack, I think you were asking about the science specifically. And let me know if you can hear me okay, because I have my mic, it's kind of hanging. I hope you can hear me okay. I'm really impressed with the life pack. Now, I will be honest with you, the only life pack subject that we fully used for the last 3 years is the Bible. I have not fully used life pack science or any of the other life pack subjects that you see back there. But I did take 2 weeks and read every single life pack unit and teacher's guide cover to cover, and I was super, super impressed. Their math, I will say the math, if you've got a hands-on math learner, life pack is not going to be it. Life pack is not hands-on at all. It is very cut and dry. Here's the algorithm, do the problem, that kind of thing. Whereas math with confidence, something like that, which I do have the 3rd grade one here too, for those of you that were asking about that, this is super hands-on. So with the math life pack, it's going to depend on the type of learner you have, right? Hands-on, probably life pack math is not going to be the best. Math with confidence, super, super hands-on. We just started math with confidence level 1 with my first grader, and I love it. I was a little overwhelmed at first, but it's so good. I will be honest with you, it's so good. I will be doing homeschool for the first time, 3rd grade, 6th, and 9th. Ooh, that's a spread recommendation. So that's Yarlene on TikTok asking for those 3 grade levels, 3rd, 6th, and 9th, first time homeschooling. My number one recommendation, if you haven't already, is get familiar with your homeschool laws. Like, that is going to save you so much of a headache, because a lot of parents, like, you go through your whole year homeschooling, everything's going great, and then you get to the end of the year and you find out, oh my gosh, we have to do an end of year test, and I didn't know that we needed to do that. So get familiar with your homeschool laws first. That way you go into the new year like knowing exactly what's going to be expected of you. Some states have hardly any laws at all. Other states, they have minimal laws, and then some states are like really restrictive. But there is no state in all of the United States that has completely outlawed homeschooling. So like, there's this weird rumor going around that like Connecticut, you can't homeschool in Connecticut anymore because of the law that was just passed. That is not true. You can homeschool in every single state in all of the United States. You're just going to have different, laws for the different states. Hey, Amber, thank you. Thoughts on online curriculums for the little ones. So I've been through the ringer with the online curriculums, and I have gone back and forth, like, especially in the kindergarten and first grade years. I don't personally like to have them online for all the subjects. I'm cool with like supplementing, like we use Time for Learning in our homeschool. I like for them to do like elective courses online. We use OutSchool for a lot of our online like art classes and things like that. But the core subjects, the math and the language arts and the reading, I like to do that, especially in the younger years, personally with me, myself. But if you're like a full-time working homeschool parent and you have to rely on an online homeschooling program, that is completely fine. Like, I just made a video recently about like not shaming homeschool moms for needing to rely on online curriculums. There are really good ones out there. Just kind of depends on the type of learner that you have. Okay, I have to say, you're going to hear me say this a million times. I am not selling anything. This is completely educational purposes only. I am literally I'm going to be showing you curriculum. I have no affiliation with these curriculums. This is just me sharing what I have. And those of you that know that I'm like obsessed with homeschool curriculum, and that's why I have so much to show you. This is not a curriculum shop. This is not a store. I'm not selling anything. Nothing like that at all. I don't even have any of my links or anything like posted on here. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't even want to get in deep water with that. So just answering the questions. And I will have to repeat that like multiple times throughout the live just to keep TikTok off my back. And my Facebook people over here, I have the Facebook Live platform up, and honestly, I am not familiar with this at all. So I'm just going back and forth between the two platforms. Okay. Maria, currently doing Christian Light Language Arts with my 3rd grader. I think I need to add a writing curriculum. Okay, hold on. Let me go back to that question. Language Arts, 3rd grade, Christian Light. I'm going to show you, we are currently doing Christian Light Language Arts 3rd grade, okay? And this is one thing you'll hear with Christian Light education, is that it's not heavy on the writing. And everybody has told me, we're now in the 3rd grade level, everybody told me, just hold on. It will increase. You will see it eventually. It's just they take it slow. They don't just like throw the kids into it. We are on the 3rd light unit of the 3rd grade out of 10. And so far, the writing, I agree with you. It's like very minimal. Like, we're just now writing paragraphs, basically. We are not doing essays, which is kind of throwing me off, because when I taught public school, my first graders were writing like 5-paragraph essays. But then again, when you think back to that, like, that is not developmentally appropriate. Why should a 6-year-old be learning to write 3-paragraph essays? That's crazy. So I am still not adding in a separate writing curriculum with Christian Light Language Arts 3, because I am trusting the process, and I'm trusting all the veteran homeschool moms that have been using this that say it's going to eventually be enough. However, if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I feel like they should be doing more writing at this stage, IEW is the one that I'm going to start looking into. Okay, so this is so crazy. There's EIW, Essentials in Writing, and then there's IEW, which is like Institute for Excellence in Writing or something like that. They're different curriculums. There are same three letters, just mixed up, IEW and EIW, both solid writing programs, but the IEW is the writing program that I may look into if I do start feeling like this isn't enough. So far, I'm just going to trust the process though. But I do understand how you're feeling. You just ordered the EIW level 3. Kindergarten science and history. Okay, the science and history, you guys, I'm not going to lie, those are the two subjects that I personally I hate curriculum shopping for. I have not found a science curriculum that I'm truly love. Abeka was close. That one was close. I have been doing Schoolhouse Discoveries box units, right? So you'll see all my videos about these. Again, I'm not selling any of this. This is just what we use for science. These are like little box kits with a teacher's guide, and it has all the supplies and everything you need. I do that for science. The Life Pack Science, what you see behind me, that's a good one. Like if you want a legit science curriculum and you don't want to just like pick and choose like I'm doing, Life Pack would be one to look into. Same thing with like the history and geography. I've been using 5 in a row to kind of cover those subjects. So you'll see like I have a ton of videos on this before 5 in a row program and the 5 in a row where you kind of like pull science activities from it, but it's not a full science curriculum. So I wish I had a better answer for you. I have heard good things about Noeo, Noeo science. Haven't tried it, can't speak on it, but I've heard good things about it. Okay, Ashland, I hope I'm saying that right, Mia Academy or Time for Learning for Science and History. I personally like both Mia Academy and Time for Learning. I had a good experience with both. I think Mia Academy is a little more modern, and my kids enjoyed Mia Academy more. Also, the Mia Academy videos, again, are like more updated. Like the Time for Learning videos, some of them are a little outdated. Also, Time for Learning, as much as we love it, sometimes you'll have like technical problems with it, like glitchiness happening. Mia Academy, we did not experience that. The only online curriculum that I personally not had a good experience with is Acellus, which I know a lot of you have been waiting for me to do my full review on it. And there is a reason why I haven't. And I've kind of like been dropping little breadcrumbs like in my stories and like in certain videos, but I had a weird experience with Acellus / Power Homeschool. It's the same thing. I posted something about them. They didn't like what I posted, and they kind of like would not leave me alone until I deleted it, which I will not delete it. I still haven't deleted it, and I won't. But that threw me off, and that bothered me a lot. And ever since then, I like can't get on board with them. So the only online program that I really don't care for, and even aside from this weird, hey, delete your post thing, the actual program itself I felt like was not worth the money. So all that to say, Time for Learning and Mia Academy, I like them both. Acellus / Power Homeschool, don't like that one. What about Math Mammoth? Okay, so Yarlene's asking about Math Mammoth, which I have not personally used. But I will tell you that my very best friend in the whole entire world, she might be in here right now, she uses it. She loves it. I have flipped through it from what she has. What I like about Math Mammoth is, just like Christian Light, it just like gets to the point. That cuts the fluff. There's not a bunch of like extra fluffy games and stuff that you have to do with it. It's old school. It teaches the old school way of doing math, which I appreciate. Also, Math Mammoth does a really good job of combining spiral learning, where you get the review, and mastery based, where you don't move on until you master. I think Math Mammoth does a good job of combining those. Sierra, I have not personally tried the K-12 program, but I do homeschool evaluations for families that use it and have had really good experience with it, but I haven't personally used it. And Funcation, that's a new one that I've recently been seeing, but I have not used that one either. Okay, Alicia, I'm trying to nail down reading and math. I'm torn between Christian Light and All About Learning. Okay, everybody has been asking me about Christian Light compared to All About Reading. So I'm going to pull out some of the programs because I want you to see this. This is All About Reading, okay? So All About Reading, this is the level 1 program compared to Christian Light Education. Let's say we're comparing it to the Learning to Read, okay? Now, I'm using both of these programs right now. These could not be more different, okay? So if you're trying to decide between these two programs, Christian Light Education Learning to Read and All About Reading Level 1, You have got to know what kind of learner you have before you go spend your money on either of these, because this is not one of these like, oh, you could like do either one. No, it's like you either have a learning to read kid or you've got an all about reading kid, and they are totally different. So learning to read program with Christian Light, this is going to cover everything. You're getting your spelling, your phonics, your reading comprehension, and your handwriting all in one. This is also heavily spiral, which means your kid is going to learn a little something new every day. They practice it very small little amount, and then the whole rest of the lesson is reviewing what you did yesterday. Then the next day they're going to learn a little bit something new, practice it for a little bit, and then spend the whole rest of the lesson reviewing what you did. You know what I'm saying? You're constantly spiraling back. That's this, all in one. It takes us almost an hour to do these lessons. These are very, very intensive, all-in-one style lessons. All About Reading, amazing program. I am so impressed with this. Every single school needs to adopt this like immediately. But this is not a spiral-based curriculum, and this is only reading. You are not going to get handwriting, spelling, little bit of comprehension. So they read a little story, and then they will do some comprehension with this. This is pure phonics, understanding letter sounds, blends, learning to read the actual words on the paper, and then reading a little story and answering questions. These lessons take 20 minutes a day. They tell you just set a timer, 20 minutes a day, and there's hardly any spiral with this, meaning you don't review heavily. There's like a little part of review in the beginning, but that's it. And so the question is like, well, which one is better? Ooh, it's so hard to say. It like totally depends on your kid. Like, if you think your kid would get overwhelmed with an hour-long lesson of handwriting, phonics, spelling, comprehension, everything all in one, then maybe this is going to be better for you. My dream would be to somehow find a way to combine these two, but I've already tried that. I did it one day, like let's just do a lesson of both, and it was way too much. So they're both amazing. If you've got a struggling reader, okay, struggling, even if they're not officially dyslexic, but like they're really struggling, do not go with this one. This is not meant for struggling readers. This 100% is. My girl who's using this right now is a very strong reader. So we're kind of flying through this, and then I'm just sprinkling these lessons in along the way to see how I like it. But this is moving very, very, very slow for her. Whereas this moves very fast, almost too fast sometimes. So yeah, but you can't go wrong with either. They're amazing. If you end up going with All About Reading, you are going to have to add in some kind of handwriting. They do have All About Spelling as well, which I also love this program. I'm using this with my two oldest daughters right now. So there are options to add in, but it's not like the Learning to Read program where it's an all-in-one thing. That's the beauty of this, is like you're knocking out like 3 different subjects with this. Your phonics, your spelling, your comprehension, and your handwriting, 4 subjects. Sorry, I know that was a lot, but that question is what keeps coming up about the comparing the two. They're both amazing. Okay, somebody said we used Horizons last year going with Life Pack. Do you have a promo code? For Horizons, any AOP Horizons and Life Pack, yes, I do. I don't think I can say it on here though, because I'm not selling anything, but everything is linked. Click my little face up there if you're on TikTok. If you're on my Facebook, people, I don't know what it looks like on your platform. This is my first time doing a Facebook Live. But my TikTok people, yes, it's all up there. I just can't say it out loud. Okay, Susie said 5 in a row you're going to keep using. I will never stop using 5 in a row. You guys, when I tell you this is the curriculum that has like brought the joy back into our homeschool, like, I swear, I will never leave this. This goes all the way up to volume. They sent me all this, by the way. Like, this is volume 3. We're on volume 1 right now. I think it goes up. It goes up quite a few volumes, but it is the best. And that is one that's cool because you don't have to do, like, every single story, every single day, every single subject. It's, like, very fluid, pick and choose what you want type thing. That's why I love it. I have not heard of Bookworms. Have you heard of Bookworms? Okay, why Christian Light Math over Horizons? So we did use Horizons. I have Horizons back there. Math for a little while, and I actually really liked Horizons. Like, I wanted to stick with it. My daughter at the time, it was my oldest daughter, and she is the one who we have changed math curriculums like 50 times because I don't know if it's her or me or what, but Horizons for her I don't think it was enough practice. It's like 2 pages back and front each day, which a lot of people love that. Short and sweet. Just 1 page. You do the front page, you do the back page, and you're done. Kind of like Math with Confidence. But I felt like she needed more independent practice. She needed more in-depth lessons. And so that is why we ended up going with Christian Light Education Math. And the irony of that is she is the one now, my 3rd grader, I really want her to try Math with Confidence 3rd grade. This is like fun. Look at this. Okay, this is Math with Confidence 3rd grade. Super colorful, bright. You know, you get the gist, right? And then when you look at Christian Light Math, this is our Christian Light Math. Look at the difference. This is Christian Light Math. Almost no color, very straight to the point. She loves this. She loves this. She does not want to try the Math with Confidence, even though I went out and bought it. Is Life Pack Math better than Horizons? Okay, so this is another tricky thing about Life Pack and Horizons. AOP is the company, like the umbrella company that publishes Life Pack and Horizons. So when you hear me talk about AOP curriculum, I'm talking about Life Pack and Horizons, but they are not the same. Life Pack, those colorful boxes you see back there, that is a mastery-based curriculum, meaning your kid, especially in math, is going to be staying on the same topic day after day after day until they fully mastered it before they move on to something else. Whereas Horizons Math is spiral. Learn a little something new, review, review, review. Learn a little something new, review, review, review. So both really good programs, but totally different. It totally depends on your learner. And as a matter of fact, I have tons of videos on YouTube, all my channels, comparing Life Pack and Horizons. So you can check those out too. Okay, any thoughts on Singapore dimensions? I was waiting for somebody to ask that. So I'm gonna show you, if those of you that have been following me, you kind of already have seen this, but look what I got in the mail. I got the dimensions. This is the pre-K level. I have 0 experience with Singapore dimensions, which by the way, you guys, did you know that Singapore, like if you Google Singapore math curriculum, it's not like one curriculum. Singapore is a style of teaching and learning, and dimensions is the curriculum. So if somebody says, oh, I use Singapore math, your next question should be, which Singapore? Is it dimensions? Is it primary? There's all different kinds. So anyways, I got the dimensions. These are the teacher's guides. Look how huge they are. This is like what I used when I was a public school teacher, the big giant teacher's guides. And then it comes with these mini student workbooks. Again, I'm not selling anything. This is educational purposes only. I just want to show you guys. Oh, I don't think I have the little workbooks. But anyways, the little workbooks that come with these are really cute. The teacher's guide for dimensions is very overwhelming. I sat and I read through this and I was like, oh my gosh, this is bringing me back to like public school days. But a lot of families swear by Singapore. This is my problem. I got the pre-K level because I was going to try it with my 4-year-old. But she is the one that I'm doing the All About Math with right now, which we also are loving. So many different curriculums. This All About Math level 1 I'm doing with my 4-year-old right now, and she loves it. Absolutely loves it. It's like a cute little game each day that we do together. And we're loving it. So that is the only reason why we haven't started the Singapore, is because she's loving this so much. I didn't expect her to love the All About Math. I thought we would try this for a little bit and then try the Singapore, but she really likes this. We tried dimensions and loved it, but my daughter would complain every day that it was too much work. I'm hearing that from a lot of people, although I will say that a lot of moms have been commenting on my videos about Singapore dimensions, saying that they don't do every single activity in the teacher's guide. They kind of just go right into the workbooks. So, but then it's like, if you're going to do that, then what was the point of like buying the full curriculum? Like going through the full lesson in the teacher's guide is kind of the point. Best pre-K learning guides. So okay, this is another one I wanted to show you guys. You've probably seen in some of my videos. So All About Reading, what I was saying is really good for kids with dyslexia or struggling readers. They do have a pre-K level. And it's called pre-reading. So it's the yellow books, pre-reading. It's preschool level. I'm doing this with my 4-year-old, the one that I'm doing the All About Math with. And it is so cute. Like, is this her? I want to show you guys. Look at what we do every day. I have got to make a video on this. Look how cute this is. So every day we do a letter, and like there's some activity. Like this one, we did the googly eyes. This one, she did blueberry fingerprints for the letter B. Cookie, she put the chocolate chip cookies on. The dancing dog, like so stinking cute. The elephant, like every day, this was like a little sand activity. It's just super gentle. We do one letter a day, and then there's like a little rhyming activity. We do this like little puppet guy that comes with it. That's what we are using with her right now. We also finished the Horizons Pre-K for Threes program. That's, you see that back there too. And we love that too. So I'm kind of in this weird space of like, we're loving everything and we don't have time to fully do everything. So we're going to have to start picking and choosing soon. Okay, all about math versus math with confidence. So far, I will say that these two are similar in terms of like the gaming style. So with math with confidence, let me show you. This is our math with confidence. Okay, this is the level 1. You can see colorful, bright, cute. Not a lot of independent practice though. Most of the lesson is done her and I playing games together. All about math is the same, where you are doing a game together. A lot of the lesson is done one-on-one between you and your kid, and then there's not really a lot of independent practice with this either. This one actually has more review, like the whole back page of their worksheet every day is review, whereas this is more mastery based. You don't do much review, which sounds like a bad thing, but some kids need mastery style curriculum where you're not constantly reviewing. You stay on the same topic until you master it. That is the biggest difference between math with confidence and all about math so far, is that both heavy on the games, heavy on the teacher involvement. This one, more review, a little more independent practice. This one, mastery based, not a lot of independent practice, but this is still just level 1. So perhaps the higher levels do have more review and independent practice, but so far level 1 does not have much of that. And then the math with, okay, somebody said math with confidence versus dimensions. Totally, like, could not be more different. Dimensions is very rigorous, I guess is the word. Like, they dive really deep into concepts, which could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on the type of learner you have. Whereas math with confidence is fun, engaging, not as much independent practice as dimensions. That's one thing that I like about dimensions, is you do your lesson and then they are doing a lot of worksheets. And that's how I like it. That's why I like Christian-led education math. Math with confidence, it's like one worksheet back in front a day, because most of the lesson is spent gaming and interacting and learning that way. Is the pre-reading for kindergarten 2. So if your kid already knows their letter sounds, this is going to be boring to them. This is like, let's talk about a letter each day and let's like do rhyming, and it's super gentle. I'm doing this with a preschooler. But if you've got a kindergartner who still doesn't know their letter sounds, this might be a good route to take. Level 1, all about reading, is really going to start the actual reading process. Like this one that I was showing you here. This is the level 1, all about reading. Which, by the way, if any of you, don't be caught off guard like I was. If any of you are thinking about doing all about reading or any of these all about learning programs, you are going to need to take the time to cut out, look at this. I had to sit there and cut out all these activities and put them in sheet protectors, so that way when we sit down to do a lesson, I'm not having to rip it out and cut it in the middle of our lesson. I pre-cut all these things. But as you can see, like the lessons with all about reading, super like gamey, right? We're doing games, we're doing little activities, very hands-on. Some people this might annoy. You might be like, this is like, no, this is not how my kid learns. Therefore, maybe you want to look into something like Christian Light or something like not as fun. But I'll tell you, my kid is loving this. Like, as annoying as it was to have to prep all this, like she absolutely loves it. And it's actually putting me into more of a predicament because I love Christian Light learning to read. And she doesn't hate it, but she likes all about reading better. Math for a 4th grader who does not catch on quickly. So any struggling math kid, I'm always going to recommend Math with Confidence and the All About Math. This one that I was holding up. This one only goes to level 4. All About Math only goes to level 4. And the levels do not correspond to the grades. Most curriculums are like that, by the way. So like, let's say you have a fifth grader and you think, okay, I have a fifth grader, so I need to buy the level 5 of whatever curriculum. That is not always the case. The levels don't always correspond to grades. So you definitely want to go on to any of these curriculums websites and take a placement test, because a lot of these will have a test that your kid will take and it will tell you what level to actually put them in, instead of wasting your money and thinking that you just put them in the level based on their grade. It is not the case. Okay, and anybody that doesn't know what level your kid is at, especially like if your kid's been in school and maybe your teacher didn't have like good communication or whatever, and you're honestly not sure where your kid is at in reading or math, go on to IXL, those 3 letters, IXL. I'm not selling this. I'm not affiliated with them. Nothing. This is just what we use. The diagnostic test. It takes a long time. It takes like 2 hours to finish. You can take breaks as often as you need. You just take the test at home and it will send you their results in an email and tell you exactly where they're at for reading and for math. And that will give you a good idea. Like maybe you've got a fifth grader who's reading on a second grade level and the teacher is giving him A's in reading. So you assume that they're doing great in reading. That happens all the time with grades. Do not let your kids' grades like allow you to think that they're on grade level. Go do that diagnostic test. IXL does charge you. It's like a monthly fee, but if you don't want to use the program, just pay. I think it's like less than $20. Pay it, take the test and cancel it just so you have those results. How do I do the portfolio? What should I keep? So Yarlene, anybody that is in Florida or in a state that requires the portfolio, I do portfolio evaluations and I am very chill. Like I'm very lax with our evaluations. As long as you can send me work samples, I like to see work samples from the beginning, middle, and end of the year to show progress. That is all I expect. There are some evaluators who are a little more strict, but what I require is work samples from the beginning, middle, and end of the year. Email me the pictures. That is your e-portfolio. That is what counts for that. Okay, Abeka. I have 2 people asking about Abeka. So I love Abeka. I know that is like controversial in the homeschool world, but like I love it. It is old school. It is effective. Many private schools adopt it. Same thing, Horizons is one that a lot of private schools adopt too. But it's good. It's super expensive, but it's good. And I used it for a full year because we won it. Like legit won a year of Abeka at a homeschool convention. And we would have kept using it if it wasn't so expensive. It was that good. And we use the online Abeka, like where the teacher teaches them and then they go into their workbook and do their work. So it was cool. We got a mix of online work and book work, and I loved it. Okay, so Florida evaluations for a special needs child are the same as a non-special needs child. So any kind of growth that your child has made throughout the year, any records that you've kept throughout the year. Sometimes the growth is your kid wasn't potty trained at the beginning of the year and now they are. And we will spend our whole evaluation meeting talking about all of the improvements they made with that potty training. That will count. Florida is very special needs friendly in terms of the evaluations, so you don't need to worry about that. Suggestions for a first grade workbook to do alongside All About Math Level 1. So Hannah, you're probably feeling the way that I'm feeling. I really love this curriculum, but I do wish there was more like worksheets, like independent practice to go along with it. There is a thing, some of you, hold on, I know I have it here and I really want to show you the Facts That Stick. Have you seen that by Kate Snow? Where did I put it? It's like Kate Snow's Facts That Stick. It's not really worksheet, but it's like games that you can do to like brush up on their addition and subtraction facts. And then the website Teachers Pay Teachers, it's like teacherspayteachers.com, printing out like independent worksheets from there as well is something that I think I'm gonna do. Where I wanted to show you guys the math facts that stick. I bought all of the levels. I don't know. It's around here somewhere. I have so much stuff. Oh, it's over there. We are making the change to Christian Light this year. Yay. What subjects? I only use Christian Light for the language arts and for the math and the learning to read program. I have not experienced their other subjects. I've always been curious though. Curriculum friendly for third, sixth, and ninth graders, Darlene, you're working from home. So for your sixth and ninth grader, I would probably explore online programs. Like if they're independent workers and they can handle that. Mia Academy is one that I like. Time for Learning is one that I like. Don't really recommend SLS/Power Homeschool, but those for your older kiddos. Third grader, if you're working from home, so if you need something a little more hands off, Life Pack. The cool thing about Life Pack, those boxes that you see behind me, is it's very independent. Like you could just read the lesson with your kid real quick, and then they do the whole lesson on their own. Whereas like something like, All About Math or All About Reading, very heavily teacher involved. So for your third grader or any of your kids, Life Pack goes all the way to 12th grade. That might be a good one for people that are working from home. What for preschooler and kindergartner? So for those younger years, I'm really, really loving the All About Reading, this pre-reading level. This is super cute. I don't know if you were here when I was flipping through all the activities that we've been doing with that. Horizons preschool is really cute too. That's what you see in that box behind me. We've been using that for years. But they're just like at those younger ages, I wish with my oldest daughter, I didn't go so heavy. Like in those preschool and kindergarten years, keep it light. This is super, super sweet. Before 5 in a row for preschool level, even kindergarten for this level. This is sweet. You read books together and do activities to go along with the books. But like, I don't know if I would want to do like a full Abeka style with a preschooler or kindergartner because it's just a lot. I kind of feel like those years we should keep it fun and light, which is why I really like the Horizons preschool and not All About Reading pre-reading. The Bible curriculum that we're using is Life Pack. We've been using, I think we're going on our 4th year of that. Life Pack Bible is really good. I have not really tried any other Bible curriculums. Okay. Do the homeschool curriculums match Common Core standards? Most of them do not. However, Dimensions, for example. So Singapore Dimensions, they do have an option that does follow the Common Core standards if you want to go with that option. So that's one thing that's cool about Singapore. The Dimensions is like, if you need the Common Core, it's there. If you don't want it, you can go with a different we'll call it like a different model, a different model of it. But most homeschool curriculums I've noticed have kind of like steered away from Common Core. In my opinion, that's probably a good thing. But if you're in a state where maybe that's important, you can totally just look up. You could literally just Google homeschool curriculum Common Core standards, and you will find them. They are out there, but most do not. The main difference between Logic of English and All About Reading, I don't have any experience with Logic of English, but I will tell you that from what I understand, Logic of English is kind of like Christian Light Learning to Read, where it covers your handwriting, your spelling, your phonics, like everything is covered in one. Whereas All About Reading, this is just reading. This is just your phonics, diving into the letter sounds, blends. And what's cool about this All About Reading is like, even though it kind of stinks that it doesn't include handwriting and all the other things, your kid is going to come out a super strong reader with this because this is all it is. Like you're doing a full lesson just diving into the phonics. Whereas Christian Light, Logic of English, those kinds, I feel like because they cover so much in one lesson, you almost don't go as deep as All About Reading. So like so many pros and cons to this. It's like it stinks because you got to add stuff into this, but it really dives deep. When should I start? In August. I was thinking for my 9th grader, Florida virtual school, but the comments are going so fast. Oh, but he has UA. Okay. So I just recently started my school year in October. I used to always start my school year in August, and I don't know, we school year round, so we don't take a summer break. And I don't know what it is about like letting us go a little longer and not feeling like I have to start in August. It has been so nice. So we've actually been starting our new school year more in like October-ish. But if you are on the Unique Ability Scholarship in Florida, you might not have as much freedom as you think, especially in terms of when your portfolio evaluation is going to be due, which I do those meetings. I can do that for you. But it's not like you can go 2 months without doing school, because for your portfolio evaluation, you're supposed to show a full year's worth of schoolwork, if that makes sense. So Totally up to you if you want to start in August. When you fill out your letter of intent to homeschool in Florida or any state that requires that, it is going to ask you what start date you're starting. And they don't want to see a big gap. So like if you pulled your kid out of school in May and you're not starting school until October, your state might be like, wait a minute, what happened in August and September? So just be wary of that. How does year-round work like months? So yes, I do homeschool year-round. I literally go October to September. So we start in October and we go October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. We finish the year in September and we start the next school year in October. We used to do August to August. I've switched it up now. We're doing October to October. We do take breaks every single month. So like, as a matter of fact, the last 5 days has been our break. We've been on vacation, no school at all. And I'm not stressing about it because we are going year round. It's not like I have to finish everything before the summer. We're going to keep going. We can take breaks whenever we want. I tend to do 3 weeks fully through, like we do Monday through Friday, 3 weeks, and then we take a full week off. So 3 weeks on, 1 week off, 3 weeks on, 1 week off, every single month throughout the year. Christmas time, we do tend to take a little, like 2-ish weeks off. And, you know, sick days, we can take days off whenever we want. And I don't have to stress about it because we're schooling year round. Do you only have to file one intent to homeschool per child, or do you have to do it each year? In Florida, you only have to fill it out one time per kid, and you don't have to do it again. But every state has their own rules. So if you're in a state that requires a letter of intent, some states require you to do it every single year. I want to say, is Georgia one? Do we have any Georgia people in here? I feel like Georgia's one of those weird ones. But anyways, it totally depends on your state. In North Carolina, how does taking a maternity leave? Okay, hold on. Okay, so I live in North Carolina now, but North Carolina is pretty lax. Like, you do have to do testing at the end of the year. But in terms of like taking maternity leave, when I was on maternity leave with my baby, my most recent baby that I had, I would literally just throw the girls in bed with me and we would all lay in my bed and we'd read books, we'd do stories, whatever. And that was our school day. So the state of North Carolina, like technically you are supposed to be like keeping attendance or whatever. I would still count it as a school day, just laying in bed with your new baby on your chest and reading a book to your other kids. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to announce it to the state like, hey, we just took the last 2 months off. No, you didn't. You sat in bed and you read with your babies and you did a school day, period. They don't need to know all that. I don't know if I should be wording it that way, but that is how I did it when I was in Florida, and in North Carolina. If I have more babies, that is what I'll be doing as well. How do I plan my week out? So this is what I was getting ready to show you guys. So this is our weekly schedule. I have a free schedule template that I made on like Word or PowerPoint years ago. It's free. It's on my website. This is my new one that I made though. Let me show you. You'll see it in all my videos. Hold on. So this is what our schedule looks like. I know it's backwards. I'm sorry. So we go Monday through Friday. Wednesday we do our jujitsu class in the middle of the day. So our schedule's a little off. Same thing with Friday. We do jujitsu in the middle of the afternoon. But for the most part, I do a block schedule. So Monday, Wednesday are math days. Tuesday, Thursday are language arts days. And then Friday, we double up and we do both subjects. So my girls are getting 3 days of math, 3 days of language arts, week after week after week, all year round. So far, that's working really well for us. Some people like to do all the subjects in one day. Like you wake up on Monday, you do an hour of math, an hour of reading, an hour of science, an hour, however you want to do it. For me, that was like burning me out. Like I was so sick of pulling out the math bin and then having to pull out the language arts bin. For me, it's easier. Like this is our math day, no language arts. This is our language arts day, no math. And I'm only having to pull out that one bin for that subject for all 4 of my kids, especially when you have a lot of kids. I feel like the block schedule works really well. That's how I do the schedule. My 11-year-old is struggling with math. So Nuvia, I don't know if you were here earlier when I was saying it, but like the first thing I would do is pinpoint the exact areas, because if any kid is struggling in anything, that means there's probably gaps like left behind from years prior. So going on to like the IXL website and doing the diagnostic test, you can even order like state tests to do at home, like the MAP test. I have tons of videos on this on my testing playlist. The Iowa test, the California Achievement Test, like any of those tests, you can go on and buy those and just take them at home and see the exact specific areas where your kiddo is struggling. And then this is going to freak everybody out, but I swear it works. Back your kid up. Like I cannot emphasize this enough. Like if you've got a 5th grader who is struggling in 5th grade math, you're probably going to need to go back to 4th grade math, 3rd grade math, 2nd grade math. Maybe your 5th grader needs to go all the way back to kindergarten math. That is okay. Like, please do not be afraid. I'm trying to show you the light here. Okay, notice this is Christian Light Education Math 2nd grade, okay, level 2. My daughter is in 3rd grade, at the end of 3rd grade right now, but she is doing 2nd grade math because she was struggling, and I backed her up an entire year. And at first I was a little freaked out, like, oh great, now we're going to be behind forever and she's not going to graduate on time. No, you back them up. You are going to be thanking yourself. Like, I am so proud of myself for backing her up a year and not listening to like the voice in my head telling me that we're going to be behind, because guess what? Now my kiddo is like a math superstar. Like, she can do mental math like nobody's business. Whereas before we switched and backed up a year, oh my gosh, she didn't even like she had no number sense at all. So back them up. Like, do not be afraid to have your 9th grader doing 1st grade math. Like, you're homeschooling. Nobody sees them. It's not like they have the peer pressure of like other kids looking at them. Are they going to be pissed? Yeah. Like my 3rd grader, she's like, when are we going to be done with the 2nd grade math? Like, she knows she's in 3rd grade doing 2nd grade math, but guess what? She's the only one who knows it. Nobody else knows it. And now she's a math superstar because of it. So I cannot emphasize that enough. Just back them up. Back them up. Back them up. Okay. Amber says, what if your kiddos do not do well with tests? So you have some options with testing. A lot of tests are low key to where like you're not timed. The IXL test that I keep talking about, that is one you can take breaks whenever you want. Don't even tell them it's a test. Like, especially with the IXL test, just be like, hey, we're going to sit down and do this like math and reading game program, whatever. It's something, you know, that I need to do for homeschooling. Don't even tell them it's a test. Just have them do it. I do sit with my kids when we do testing. No, I do not give them answers. That's what everybody says. Oh, you homeschool moms sit with your kid and give them all the answers. Absolutely not. I'm not going to set my kid up for failure later because I gave her all the answers in the early years. No, but I do sit with them because so many technological things can happen during testing. It happened when I was a teacher. It continues to happen as a homeschool mom. Maybe the question says like, answer all that apply. And your kid just clicks one and clicks up. Like, they didn't read the directions. Or maybe it asks them for like a none of the above or all of the above, and your kid doesn't even understand what that means. If you're sitting with them, you can explain what that means. You're not giving them answers. You're not helping them with the problems, but you're there for technological issues. That might help ease their mind too. If they have like test anxiety, it's like, I'm sitting right next to you. This isn't a test. We're just doing an activity. Like, don't even tell them it's a test. Does IXL count as standardized testing? For the state of Florida, Step Up people, my Step Up scholarship people, yes, it does. In North Carolina, it does not. So it depends on your state. You need to look up what your state homeschool approved tests are. Quick Google search. IXL diagnostic is accepted in some states, not all. The MAP, M-A-P assessment is pretty much accepted in every state. The CAT, California Achievement Test, pretty much accepted in every state. We just took that one, by the way. It was so easy. If you just want like a quick standardized test to send to your state, it's not going to, I don't think it's going to give you the best insight for you personally as a homeschool mom, like where your kid is at. But if you just need something to send to your state real quick, California Achievement Test, easiest one we've taken. Okay, interesting. I don't believe Georgia has any specific tests. Yeah, look into Georgia. So what's weird is we live in North Carolina, but we're right on the Georgia border. So a lot of the moms that I hang out with are from Georgia. And they do the testing at the end of the year. Like my friend, she just did the CAT testing and submitted that to Georgia just fine. North Carolina is so weird. Like we do the standardized test at the end of the year, but we don't submit it. We just like put it on our shelf in case anybody asks. So weird. Ooh, Raylene. Sorry, I'm like so hot in here. I'm sweating. I need water. Raylene asked about Blackbird and Company, and I have never had anybody ask me about that curriculum, and that is one that I'm always telling people about. But nobody's ever asked me because it's like this unknown thing. Blackbird and Company is one of the coolest curriculums you will ever see, but it is expensive. Like, it is so expensive. But if you're in a state that has like scholarship funding, or like maybe money is not an issue for you, look into that one. Super hands-on. It's a Montessori style literacy program. Early, I think it only goes to 5th grade maybe. It's not like a one that goes to high school, but it's called Blackbird and Co. Blackbird and Company. I found it at a homeschool convention. I sat there and talked to the people forever. They were the nicest people. But then I looked at the price and I was like, oh, I can't do that. But it was super cool. So that is one. If you got a hands-on learner, Blackbird and Co., Blackbird and Company. Somebody was asking about preschool earlier, like preschool, kindergarten, fun programs. That is one that I should have mentioned. That's a really good one. Okay, Learning to Read is one of my absolute favorite programs, which, by the way, I should probably show you guys. If you don't know already, Learning to Read got new covers. Actually, all of Christian Light got new covers. So notice I was holding up the math earlier. This is the old Christian Light cover. I have to say this. I'm not selling anything. These are all my own personal curriculums. TikTok, don't shut me down for holding these up. Math, this is the old cover. These are the new covers. So yes, this is still Christian Light education. They just modernize their covers. I'm not a fan of them. But anyways, that's the Learning to Read program. It's the same as all of the other units where it's 10 of these little workbooks, okay? And what I was saying earlier is that the cool thing about Learning to Read is it covers everything. Reading, handwriting, spelling, phonics, comprehension, all in one. So like this lesson, we were learning the WH digraph. Then we did a little bit of handwriting together, right? So she's doing her handwriting copy work, those of you that like copy work. Then we get right into again, we're practicing that new skill. So this is a wheel. It starts with W. And I put the digraphs at the top, TH, WH, SH. She goes through and she has to decide which digraph matches the picture, okay? And this is review because we've already learned those other 2 digraphs. Now we're just adding in the WH. So this is all one lesson, by the way. So this is what I'm saying. It's a lot of work. Then we get into our phonics where I set a timer. She reads through all of her words. I mark the one she gets correct, mark the one she doesn't get correct. We do a little word family activity where we read these together. Then we get into our spelling. Look at that. She is spelling these full words. Okay, this is like, I think, what light unit is this actually? 107. We still have 3 light units to go after this one. There's those phonics skills with the little symbols. Those of you that were asking about the symbols on the vowels and stuff, Christian Light does that. Then we get into some more spelling. Then we read a story together. I know you're all thinking this is way too much. We read a story together, and then she answers her comprehension questions down here. And then that is it. Then, actually, that's not it. After we do the light unit, we go into her little reader book, and we read a story together. So it comes with these little reader books. And at the end, we go through and she actually reads the story to me. And it's going to be based on whatever sound we practice for that day. So the good thing about the Learning to Read program is you're hitting all the birds with one stone with this. I'm not adding anything to this. I don't need to add a spelling or a handwriting or a comprehension. Downside, super long lessons. And sometimes I do feel, as much as I love this program, that it moves a little fast. Like you saw there, we were just doing the WH digraph. Okay, the very next day, guys, look at this, hold on. I want to show you. We do the WH digraph. We did all that work that I just showed you. And then the very next day, we're moving into another digraph. So it's not like you stay on the WH learning for day after day after day. You're moving right into a new skill. But then you go back and you do review that WH sound. So it's not like you just never touch it again. The Good and the Beautiful, one of the biggest problems that I had with the Good and the Beautiful was like, you learn a little something new, but then you didn't see it again for like weeks. And that curriculum drives me insane. At least with this, it's organized spiral, but sometimes it does feel like it moves a little too fast. I love Abeka. Hand sewn joy. I know a lot of people like Abeka is so controversial, but I love it. It's reputable, it's reliable, it's been around forever. Private schools spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on it because it's good. It produces good results if that's important to you. If you're more of like a classical type educating homeschool mom or dad or grandma or whoever you are, or more of like an unschooler-ish, Abeka is not it, right? Abeka is definitely for like type A homeschool parents. I'm trying to get away from that. That's why I feel like adding 5 in a row to our homeschool has really helped me be a little bit more flexible and not so rigid. But Abeka is one that if you're type A and you want your kids to be strong in their subjects and you got the money for it, I love Abeka. And their handwriting, Alicia. Yeah, she said, I love Abeka handwriting. I agree. My Facebook. I have my Facebook live up as well, and I'm so sorry. I'm like ignoring everybody. I'm sorry. I'm looking at my TikTok people. Okay, my type B people. Somebody said, what if you're type B? That would be more so like hands-on stuff. Well, actually, I can't even say that. If you're type B, sometimes hands-on curriculums, like when I was showing you the math with confidence, this actually might stress some type B people out because it is a lot of like prep work that you have to do as the teacher to get ready for the games. But it's fun and it's cute. If you're really type B, flexible, go with the flow, you might want to look into something more like classical education, like 5 in a row even might be a good one because you kind of just pick and choose activities each day based on how you're feeling. This might be more your style. It's funny because like we want to pick curriculums based on our learning style, and we have to switch our brains and think like, what does my kid need? So for like those of you that know me, when we switched to this, I was like, what the hell did I just get myself into? I am used to Christian-led education, dry, straight to the point, barely needs my help, to this, which was like a game every day and like fun. And I was like, this is not me. And then when we switched to this, the All About Reading pre-reading program with the puppet, and I have to make the puppet talk and like do the rhyming, I was like, oh God. But you guys, she loves it so much. Like when I saw her get so excited, like me doing the funny voices, okay? Or my first grader every day, like so excited. I just got the goosebumps. I literally have the goosebumps right now. Getting so excited to do math every day, that is when I was like, it doesn't matter what I want. It does not matter my style or what I like or what I want. It is what they need. So like, even though I'm super type A and would much prefer Abeka or Christian Light, some of my kids need this and some of my kids need this. And it just like totally depends on your kid. I know that like sucks, especially when you have a bunch of kids like me. It's like, everybody has different learning styles. But yeah, the math with confidence, it is like, I'm going to sit down and do a true comparison of these two because these are two of the best math programs that I've found. And crazy enough, now I need to add in this one, the All About Math. These 3 right here, Christian-led education, math with confidence, and All About Math are 3 that have like really, really impressed me. Singapore Dimensions, I can't really say yes or no yet because I really haven't dove in enough. I'm a little turned off by this one already just by going through the teacher's guide. But again, I want to give it a fair shot. I don't want to say no right away, but this was like, whoa, like it's like rigorous like Abeka, but it's a different learning style. Like it's not your standard algorithms and memorizing carry the one and all that. It's weird. It's just different. Is All About Math mastery or spiral based? All About Math is mastery based. So that could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on what your kiddo needs. This All About Math, it's just like the All About Reading. You are not moving on to a new skill until they have mastered the current skill that they're on. Although in the beginning of each lesson with All About Math, you are doing a little bit of review. So inside your teacher's guide with All About Math, there is a section, I'll show you. Okay, do you see this down here? I know it's backwards, I'm sorry. Review, daily review. So you do a little bit of review, but it's not like Christian Light where you're doing pages and pages of review. So this is a mastery-based curriculum. Life Pack Math, those boxes you see back there, mastery-based curriculum. Math UC, the one with all the colorful blocks, we went through a year of that as well. That is mastery-based. Yeah, math is one, like, you definitely need to know what kind of kid you have. Like, my oldest daughter, 100% spiral learner. My middle daughter, a little more mastery based. I have not tried BJU math. We did try BJU science, and I was not a fan of that one, but I'm really picky with science. Hannah, what do you think of the Singapore method versus traditional math? I love the Singapore method. That is why math with confidence is so intriguing to me, because even though this isn't full Singapore, it leans more Singapore. You know what I mean? Instead of just memorizing the algorithms. And what's so funny is when we switched to Christian Light Education, the reason why I love this so much is because it did take it back to the old school days of, hey, just carry the one. Just borrow from the neighbor when you're subtracting. Don't ask questions why, just do it. And I was like, oh, finally, old school math. But then, like with my middle daughter, this was not working for her. She was like, what? She couldn't just memorize these random algorithms. She needed to dive deeper. And that's where math with confidence came in. The Singapore method is not necessarily Singapore Dimensions curriculum, okay? But the Singapore method, just the way of teaching and learning, is super intriguing to me, which is why I ended up buying that. Because it's, yes, you're still doing your standard algorithms, but they're understanding like the why behind it. And it's super heavy on the mental math, which I love. Mental math, my Christian Light girl, is not her strength. I think because she's relied so heavily on these standard algorithms. Same with me, public school educated. I have not tried Logic of English, Abby. Nope. I know there's a lot of moving parts to it though, and I hear mixed things about Logic of English. But yeah, once I get done with the All About Reading, diving into that one and trying that one, then that might be one day that I look into. Beast Academy is a super cool one. Yes, and actually, I think I have the Beast Academy books in the closet back there. That Beast Academy, if you've got a gifted learner or even just a kid that just learns differently, Beast Academy is one to look into. It's a totally different way of teaching and learning math. Okay, if you have a struggling reader, would you wait before adding grammar and language arts? 8 years old. Oh, this is so hard. So like, I used to say, no, don't wait. Like, you just need to throw it all at them at once. But since I've been using All About Reading, this is actually teaching me to kind of like slow down and nail down the basics before you worry about grammar and all the extras. So like struggling readers, I genuinely would just go straight to level 1. Like, go to the basics, nail down the basics, don't even worry about grammar yet, which as a matter of fact, sometimes this does throw in just a little bit of grammar. Not a lot, but maybe just nail down the basics first and then worry about the grammar. It's funny, I have changed my view on that. Because I think like doing grammar and comprehension and reading when your kid's already struggling can kind of be a little overwhelming. Oh no, did you say I'm glitchy? Am I glitchy for you guys? I'm out in the shed, so I might be losing my internet. Let me know in the comments. There's nothing I can really do. Okay, apps for reading. I swear by the reading.com app. Okay, so that is one I want to say. Okay, there is something on my page for it. I don't know. It's either a coupon or maybe it's just a free trial. I don't know. Reading.com, even though it sounds like a website, right? Reading.com. It's actually an app. It's an app called Reading.com. Love that. That is the one, you've seen it in my videos, where the kids slide through the words, like they slide through it on the screen, and it's just cool. You just have to see it. I think I have a free trial or something on my page for that. So Reading.com, my number one. Reading Eggs is another one that we use forever and ever and ever. We still pay for it. We don't really use it as much anymore. My kids kind of grew out of it, but that's a good one. Time for Learning, like that is one that we have a full subscription to Time for Learning, and I only really use it for like their learning games. They have really good learning games on there. That is another. I have everything I'm saying. I'm sure I have like a coupon or something on my page for it. Khan Academy is free. That is a free learning app that covers math and reading for, I think it goes K to 5th if you're doing Khan Academy Kids. And then they even have one that goes to high school, all free. Khan Academy. It's like KHAN or KAHN, whatever. It's something like that. And then IXL, that's that website that I said you can do your diagnostic test where you can figure out like where your kid is at for reading and math. They have activities, games, daily lessons. We play around with that sometimes too. What about spelling, grammar, vocab? All about was too much for me. Okay, so like you mean like too teacher intensive for you, if that's what you mean. Because like I do understand, as much as I love this and it moves very slowly for the kids, it is teacher intensive. Like you are doing the entire lesson with them. I swear by Christian Light Education Language Arts, which I thought I had here. Let me show you. Christian Light. Where'd it go? My big old teacher's guide. I don't know where I put it. Christian Light Language Arts will cover your grammar, your phonics, your spelling, your writing. Oh, here it is. Duh. Christian Light Language Arts. I just love this. I know it's old school. I know it's like, it's not exciting and flashy, but it gets the job done. And it doesn't really, especially at the third grade level, like I'm barely having to sit with her anymore. We sit down, we read the daily little new skill together, and then she's off on her own, doing the whole rest of the light unit by herself. So this is one, if you felt like the All About Reading was like too teacher intensive, this is gonna get the job done equally. Depending on like your kid's age and whatnot, I know that matters too. If I wanted to do All About Reading, what else should I add for language and grammar? So in a perfect world, and this is what I'm thinking about doing for next year. If I can find a way to do All About Reading for the reading part, and then language arts for the language arts part, this would be a really good combination. Or an even better combination, if your kid's learning to read, first grade learning to read program, and this is what I'm currently doing right now, with All About Spelling. This does cover spelling, but I just like the way this one does it better. For my third grader, I'm actually doing third grade language arts. I'm crossing out the spelling every day. We're not doing the spelling in this, and I'm doing this with her. Yes, my third grader is doing level 1 spelling. This is what I keep saying. Like, if your kid is in 5th grade and needs to be doing first grade math, put them in first grade math. Like, don't let the numbers freak you out. So finding a way to combine Christian Light with the All About Learning, whether it's All About Spelling or All About Reading, to me is like the most powerful duo. The problem is timing. It's like both require a lot of attention, a lot of time. And so that's why I'm thinking if I just cross out the spelling, which is what I've been doing, crossing out the spelling page on her workbooks for this and doing All About Spelling together so far has been working well. Doesn't the All About Reading have the All About Spelling version? Yes. So what a lot of people are doing is this. All About Reading, they tell you to start with level 2 before you add in All About Spelling. You can do All About Reading and All About Spelling together, but again, you're not getting grammar and handwriting with this. So this is my problem here. You guys see the problem? These are awesome programs, but they're not covering everything. Whereas Christian Light Learning to Read, you're getting handwriting, spelling, phonics, comprehension, all in one. But it doesn't dive as deep as this. So it's like that. It's kind of just, you're just gonna have to decide. Like that is what it's gonna come to for me. They're all amazing programs. I have nothing but good things to say. And I am just gonna have to literally pull out of a hat and figure it out. There is also something called Fix-It Grammar that I think I'm gonna buy because I'm crazy and I don't know. I don't really need another grammar program, but like that is one that I think I'm gonna look into. Fix-It Grammar. I think it's by the IEW writing company actually, and it's like quick lessons, daily little go through, correct the sentence type thing that I've heard good things about. Oh, somebody was saying the All About Reading being expensive. Yes, and some of you know from my videos, like the company sent me the All About Reading to try. Literally, they didn't even tell me to make videos or anything. They were like, do you just want to try it? Like, we see you review curriculum, never asked me to make a video, nothing. So I got lucky, right, that they sent it, because I looked at the prices and you're right, this is expensive. But I will say, especially if you have a struggling reader, 100% worth the money. Like, so good. This is one of the best curriculums that I've found. I love Fix-It Grammar. I use it a lot. I went from AAR to, wait, what is UFLI? I feel like I should know what that is. I'm thinking of, the the comments are going okay, the comments are going so fast. Like, just keep posting it. If I started reading when it went away. My phone is burning up too, so when I try to scroll up, it like burns my finger. UFLI is amazing. What is that? Backed up my second grader to AAR, then did learning to read. Oh, that's a good idea. Okay. Level 1, all about reading, getting through this with your kid, and then going into learning to read. I could see that being a good combination. We're kind of doing the opposite. We're finishing learning to read just because we're so close to the end, and we're kind of doing lessons from this here and there just so I can get a feel for it. I found all 4 levels of AAR, including readers, for $100. That's amazing. Oh, Lisa, hey. Oh, University of Florida Institute Phonics? Never heard of that, but everybody's saying it's amazing. I gotta write that down. I brought a pencil in here. Here we go. UFLI. Where can I write this? I'm gonna write that down. University of Florida. UFLI. UFLI. Okay, I'm looking that up. I want to collaborate with homeschool moms. Welcome. I gotta go up to these comments. I'm so sorry, they're going so fast. Okay, I'm thinking of combining oh, that's what I was saying. Yes, that combination to me is like gold standard. Okay, by the way, guys, the whole reason why All About Reading and All About Spelling and All About Math, like the All About Learning company, is the gold standard, they say, for kids with dyslexia or struggling readers, is because this follows the Orton-Gillingham method of instruction. It is a whole system developed for kids with dyslexia. And a lot of it has to do with, you see this? The color coding, right? The vowels are red, the consonants are blue. They're manipulating these little tiles. You can also get an app on your iPad, which is what I did, where they manipulate the tiles on the app so you don't have to pull out these little squares every single day. But that color coding method really helps kids that are struggling readers. Christian Light Education Learning to Read, I swear by this program, I love it to death, does not color code any of their vowels, which I wish they would, because I think that is why this is such a strong program. However, if you don't have a struggling reader and they're doing just fine, like my kid is with this, then you don't really need this. So that's like, it's like you kind of got to know what kind of learner you have. If you start this and it's moving fast and your kid is struggling, and then fall back on this. Your kid might need the Orton-Gillingham method, a little slower, mastery-based, color-coded. That is why that is the gold standard for that. Yes, Jenny, 100% I would say All About Reading. And it's very hands-on. Like every day there's like some activity where they're like moving little pictures, or they're like feeding the gummy bear to the elephant, and the gummy bear has a letter sound on it, and you know what I'm saying? It's like that. I do not do classical conversations at all, even at home, even though I swore that I would. And I hate that because I really wish I stuck with, especially the memory work, but our schedule, we just cannot fit another thing in our schedule. How long do I spend on planning? So in my videos, you see when I sit down to plan a week, this is my little planner that I made. It's on my website. This is how I do it. So I just I have a weekly schedule, right? Where we do math on Monday and Wednesday, language arts on Tuesday and Thursday. We double up on the subjects on Friday. And every day I will just sit down and pencil in like, okay, All About Reading level 1 or whatever, and I have actually stopped sitting down on Sundays and planning out the whole week. The only subject that I plan for week after week is 5 in a row, because with 5 in a row, I do have to sit and I have to pick out which activities I want to do for the stories that we read together. But with our Christian Light and our Math with Confidence and All About Reading, I honestly just sit down and open the teacher's guide day after day. Sometimes I look at the lesson the day before. Honestly, I'm getting to the point now where I feel like I don't even have to do that. I don't even really have to look at the lesson ahead of time. This is really the only curriculum that I'm having to sit down and plan for, and it takes me about an hour on Sunday nights. A combination for 3rd grade math. Do you mean a recommendation for 3rd grade? So we are still sticking with Christian Light Education for math. My daughter does not want to move to Math with Confidence 3rd grade, even though I bought it. I love Math with Confidence. I just think this is such a cool curriculum. But when my daughter looked at this, the colorful games and the whatever, she was like, nope, don't want to do it. She loves the Christian light, old school way of doing math. So again, depends on your learner. For me, I like Math with Confidence. She's loving Christian light math. Both phenomenal programs. All about math too, but all about math only goes to level 4. So keep that in mind. When should I start Christian light language if I'm using the Learning to Read? Okay, so when you look at your teacher's guide for the Learning to Read program, there's going to be a little schedule in the front. You actually are going to do the first 5, actually I think it's the first 4. You're going to complete the first 4 unit booklets on their own. No language arts, just the first 4 unit workbooks. When you get to the 5th unit workbook, you will add in your language arts. And then you will do the 2 together every single day. That is how it's designed. That to me became too much. Like sitting down and doing this full lesson and then doing a full language arts lesson was way too much. So for me, I do all 10 of these workbooks. It takes us about 10 months, almost 11 months. And then we do the level 1 language arts by itself. That is not how it is designed. You're supposed to be doing these together. I do start this program with my kids before, like I start this more in like kindergarten. It's technically first grade, but I start it in kindergarten because I know that I'm going to be doing all 10 of these first before doing level 1 language arts. So I kind of do that on purpose. You don't have to though. Totally up to you. What is a good curriculum for history and science? I struggle with those subjects. I'm using the 5 in a row where we just read stories together and it infuses like historical concepts and geography and science within that. Schoolhouse Discoveries, the boxes that get sent to your house that has like all the science activities and your teacher's guide and everything in there. I love these. We get these like every 8 weeks or so. We use those for science as well. But I'm not using like a full science curriculum. Is the 5 in a row all ages? Yes, I think it goes, I want to say it goes to like the 8th grade. So with 5 in a row for us, I'm doing volume 1 5 in a row with my 2 oldest, and the before 5 in a row for the younger kids, my 2 youngest are doing this one together. So that's, when you look at my schedule, you'll see I have things split up, like my 2 oldest doing things together and my 2 youngest doing things together. Oh, the comments are going so fast. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read as they're flying through. Explode the Code. Okay, so I have not used Explode the Code personally. However, I just recently did a homeschool evaluation with a family who uses it, and she was showing me the work samples from her kids' year, and it looked really cool. So again, I can't speak on it. I haven't personally used it, but I thought it looked really cool. Diana, how are you doing with the All About Reading and Spelling? I was just showing it off. I am obsessed. I was saying my biggest issue right now is I am obsessed with this, and I'm obsessed with Christian Light Learning to Read, and they're both amazing, and I've got to find a way to combine the two. All About Spelling, I'm going to stick with no matter what. I'm actually crossing out the spelling on the Christian Light lessons every day and just doing All About Spelling for the spelling. Because, by the way, so Christian Light Language Arts does include spelling. Like, there's daily spelling lists, there's spelling activities, but it doesn't feel as intentional as the spelling that I'm getting with All About Spelling. Like, this is pure spelling. Whereas this, it's like the spelling's just kind of added into the lesson and it feels not as intentional. Out of the two, which would you suggest for a first grader? All About Reading. If I see the word struggling in any sentence, I'm automatically going to say All About Reading. Like, this is so, like when I started going through this teacher's guide, I got like emotional because I kept thinking about all the years being a first grade teacher, all the years of parent conferences and sitting with parents and like these struggling readers, and like the only thing I could ever offer them was after school tutoring, which was like a joke. They like put the kids on the computer. And it's like, gosh, if we had this program as teachers to do just 20 minutes a day with your struggling reader, like that would have made such a big difference for my students. So anytime you tell me you have a struggling reader, that is the one I'm going to go with automatically. Also, there's a program that you might see me showing in some of my videos. This is one that the creator sent to me. So it's the Art of Reading. So it's like all these reading programs, like All About Reading, Art of Reading, not related, totally different. But the creator of this sent me this to start, and I have been doing it with my 6-year-old. And this is cool because you still get like the whimsical, pretty colors, and it's a little more engaging than what you get with Christian Light. But it's like short, quick lessons that my daughter loves. And it's the same concept as All About Reading, where you're really diving into the phonics skills and the blends, and it's not overwhelming for the kids. And it's just, this is another thing I want to show you. I need to make a video on this too. What's cool about this art of reading is the stories that they read are included in the actual lesson pages. Like, you're not pulling out a separate reader book, which I love that. All the stories, this is just stage 1. It goes up to stage 3 now. But the stories are all included right there. So this is another one. I know I have so many that I recommend, but this is another one if you've got a kiddo, just needs those quick, short lessons that get to the point, still effective, pretty colors, fun activities. This is one that I love as well. I love them all. The only curriculum that I've really tried and was like, was the Acellus Power Homeschool Online one. Would you recommend doing OutSchool for subjects or getting curriculum and doing it at home? So Destiny, the OutSchool platform, I swear by that platform. Now, there are some classes on OutSchool where it's like, you take it and you're like, this is not enough. Like, this is just fun. I want my kid to have something a little more rigorous. You can search on OutSchool 3rd grade math curriculum or 5th grade full day homeschool, and you will get a certified teacher that will be teaching. There's actually teachers on there that are teaching this curriculum right now to your kids online. Look it up. Like, if there's a curriculum that you're interested in, but you don't want to teach it yourself, or maybe you work full time or whatever, there are teachers on OutSchool, full-time certified teachers teaching homeschool curriculums on there. So it's up to you. Like, your question was, do you recommend using OutSchool for the subjects? For us, we mix and match. Like, we use OutSchool for our art classes, for sign language. I've even used it for like little preschool story time type classes. But you can totally use it for full academic curriculum classes as well. Totally depends on what you need. They have everything on there. Everything. Are they video or is it live? Most are live. So OutSchool, like all the classes that my kids take on OutSchool are live classes. As a matter of fact, my daughter was just doing her live drawing class today. She has friends on there. She's been with the same teacher for years. Like, the teacher is like a friend of ours now. But if you don't want live classes with OutSchool, they do have pre-recorded, like where you can just get the link sent to you and watch it not live. Jennifer, currently using Acellus, but I feel like something is missing. I have not done the review video yet. Everybody's asking, and there's a really weird reason why I haven't. That curriculum really threw me off. The company threw me off. Yeah, if you feel like something's off, something's off. That's all I gotta say about that. What are the core subjects for 1st grade and what curriculums do you recommend? So Michelle, some states are going to tell you what your core subjects are. Like, in some states, you don't have a choice. Like, you have to teach math, science, social studies. Even some states have civics, health. Like, you really got to look into that. But if you're in a state that has a little bit of freedom and you can pick and choose your subjects, for me, core non-negotiables, math, and language arts. And by the way, language arts and reading, to me, should be separated. The Good and the Beautiful, that was one problem that I had with them, was The Good and the Beautiful, you get your language arts book for the year, and it includes everything. And that, I don't know, I just feel like it shouldn't be like that. Like, reading and language arts are not the same thing. So your language arts would be like your spelling, your writing, your grammar. Your reading is like you're diving into the literature and the comprehension and the story structure, right? So 2 different things, but those are the core subjects for me. Science, social studies, history, geography. I know people get so mad at me when I say that. Those to me are ones that I sprinkle in throughout the week. So they're not what I prioritize day after day. The math, the reading, and the language arts are my core subjects. The science and all the other subjects I sprinkle in, and that's what I'm using 5 in a row for, which is what I was holding up, and now I don't know where I put it. Beast Academy for 5th grade. Abby, I say try it. Beast Academy is super cool. I wish it would have been a good fit for my daughter. It's super high level thinking, advanced, gifted type. Not even, I shouldn't even say gifted, just like not your normal way when you think of like doing math, but it's so cool. And I love the way Beast Academy teaches. And we tried it and I loved it. My kid was like not into it though. But she's also my Christian Light kid who doesn't want to do the fun games and stuff. She likes the old school math. So that kind of explains that. Okay, Amanda, can the art of reading be used as a full reading curriculum? Yes, it is designed to be a full reading curriculum. The art of reading. The reason why we are kind of supplementing with this instead of using it as a full program right now is because we're genuinely just using so much already. Like we're doing the full learning to read program. You know, we've got all about reading sprinkled in, all about spelling. The cool thing about this is it's like 15 minutes a day. So the way I've been using this is like we open this up, we do our little cute, fun, quick activities with this, and then we dive into our Christian Light Learning to Read program. But you could 100% just use this and be fine, especially when you get into stage 2 and stage 3. It dives a lot deeper. I'm just in stage 1 right now, but when you move through, it really truly is a full curriculum. And the creator of this is actually Australian, I think. Australian, New Zealand, I'm pretty sure Australia. So I love the way that phonics are taught in this. It's not like your average American phonics strategies. It's very unique and I think more effective in a lot of ways. I usually look up to other countries' ways of teaching phonics. I don't know, the United States kind of went weird somewhere along the way. This one, I'm pretty sure I have their website. Any curriculum that I'm showing you, I am sure I've got the website on my page. Like my website just has link after link after link. I actually think I might have a coupon for this one. Look on this one. I might have a coupon for this one, the Art of Reading on there. Which reading curriculum would you recommend? Hold on, I'm going to scroll back up. Which reading curriculum would you recommend for 3rd grade? I'm using Christian Light right now. So I was only using Christian Light Education reading and nothing else. And I actually stopped using Christian Light Education reading because I just felt like the language arts covered so much. And then when we dove into the reading light unit every day, it was like, oh my gosh, it was like a lot of work. And I wanted reading to be fun. So we do still do Christian Lit Education language arts for our grammar and our writing and our spelling a little bit. But then I started using 5 in a row for reading together. So I'm kind of mix and matching right now for reading because Christian Light Reading to me was just like too heavy. It was like we just did that whole language arts lesson. Now we're getting into the reading and it was just too much. Is it worth getting all about reading and all about spelling? Yes. Raw and rooted. If your kiddo is struggling, I swear by those 2 curriculums. Swear. As much as I love Christian Lit Education, this is not good for a struggling reader or speller at all. Like, period. That all about reading and all about spelling, it is like dives so deep. The kids are memorizing the rules, the phonics rules before they even learn to blend. So they have that in like the back of their mind. Like right now, my kids just memorized every word has a vowel. The vowels are A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y. So when my kid is spelling and she spells a word without a vowel, I say, what's the vowel rule? Oh yeah, every word has a vowel. So it's like, I know it sounds so stupid, but I swear it works. I swear it works. Sarah Ann, if they are struggling, would you go back a level? Yes, always 100%. Sometimes you might need to go back 2 levels, 3 levels, 4 levels. You go back however far you need to until you start filling in those gaps. We do not have the Step Up Scholarship anymore. We moved to North Carolina. That is the only downside to moving out of Florida was we lost the scholarship. Okay, do you do multiple lessons a day if your kid is flying through the lessons? I used to do that, but now I love getting done early. Like on the days where we fly through a lesson and we get done early, and because we homeschool year round, I'm not in a rush to like get everything done before summer break. I have not been doubling up on lessons. if I feel like we're falling behind, which like when we moved to North Carolina, we didn't do school for like 2 months. I put them on time for learning, and that was their school for 2 months. We really fell behind. It did stress me out a little bit, so we would double up on lessons. But now I'm at a point where if we fly through a lesson, cool, we get the day off. Like, we're early, we finished early, let's go outside and play. We don't really double up on the lessons anymore. But if we are falling behind, or I feel like we're falling behind, I'll double up. Time for Learning is an online homeschool curriculum, and I love Time for Learning. And that is one that I really relied on when we were moving. That is one that a lot of homeschool families use that I do evaluations for, and people use it all the way up through high school. It is not accredited. No, you will not get a diploma with Time for Learning. You will just go do your own transcripts and diploma yourself. Ron Rooted, I'm loving All About Math. I'm using, this is what I was holding up earlier. I am doing level 1 right now with my 4-year-old, actually. And I was kind of thinking we weren't going to like this, but we're loving it. So I'm like, oh, great. Now I got to go prep more lessons, because this is the one where you have to like prep all the activities ahead of time. I didn't think she was going to like it. And now that she's loving it, I'm like, oh, I guess I'm going to go prep more lessons. This is how I do it, by the way. So with the All About Math, the All About Reading, All About Spelling, any of the All About Learnings, like, I just cut everything out ahead of time and I put it in these sleeve protectors. See, like when it's time to do this game tomorrow, I'm just going to pull this out and I have it ready. Same thing here. This game is already ready for me to pull out, right? All these cute little hands-on math games, little math charts and things like that. It's a lot of prep work though, but I do love it. My kids enjoy all the games from All About Reading and Spelling. My kids do too. Like, I really thought, especially my oldest daughter, with the All About Spelling, I thought she was going to be like, this is too babyish, but she's loving it. I think they just like the attention. Like, All About Reading and All About Spelling and All About Math require my full attention. And when I have 4 kids, I think they like really crave my attention sometimes. So I think that's really why they're loving it, which is like kind of makes me sad to say, like, are they not getting enough attention? But no, we're having a lot of fun with it. Do they come? That just went away. I'm sorry. These comments go so fast. Do they come in the kit or on the side? Do you mean like these little math games that I just showed you? So this is the student workbook with All About Math, and All About Reading and All About Spelling are the same way. You get a student workbook, and this has all of the little games and stuff that you will cut out. See that? Cut it out, laminate it, whatever you want to do. It's annoying that you have to do all that, but I swear it's worth it. Especially with the All About Reading and All About Spelling. I was so annoyed. You can go back and watch my videos. When I first got the All About Reading and All About Spelling, I was pissed. I was like, what did I just get myself into? You got to prep all these things. And then I started using it, and none of that even mattered. It really is that good. How do you juggle the different ages? So for me, I have 9, 6, 4, and 1. And I'm kind of splitting everybody into 2 at this point. So like my 9 and 6-year-old kind of do a lot together. And then my 4 and then the 1-year-old, she just kind of like joins in. She's not really doing any like real curriculum. That has been the way that's been easiest for me. When you look at my schedule, hold on, I got everything. I was showing you guys my schedule earlier, the way that I break it down. Doing a block schedule. Where did I put that? Where I do math on Monday and Wednesday and reading on Tuesday and Thursday. Here it is. That is really helpful. If you have multiple ages, multiple grade levels, doing a block schedule where you split your subjects up like that has helped me. So here's my schedule, right? So we have Monday and Wednesday are math days. Tuesday and Thursday, reading and language arts days. Friday, we do double up on both subjects. So they're getting 3 days of math, 3 days of language arts, and then I'm sprinkling in the science and the social studies and the history and all that with our 5 in a row curriculum. Also Bible, we do the Life Pack Bible. We do the Horizons Health. That health program, by the way, I've got to make so many videos I need to make. That is a really good program. If you need a good health program, especially if you're in a state that requires health, which you need to look into that. Like some states do require you to do health. That is a really good one. Horizons Health. We've done the kindergarten, 1st grade, 3rd grade, and we just got the 4th grade in. And it gets into some deep stuff. Like this, let me show you. This is, oh, of course, I pulled out kindergarten. But the kindergarten, this is the teacher's guide. Like, not really the kindergarten level, but definitely the third grade level. We get into like talking about peer pressure and drugs and like alcohol and like all like deep concepts. Also, a lot of social skills stuff with Horizons Health. So, like, lots of scenarios like you and your friend are fighting, or you're at a store and you think about stealing something, like, well, what should you do? It's like that kind of thing. Lots of good stuff with this health curriculum. I got the good and the beautiful and all about reading. So I yes, that is going to be fine. So like you didn't you didn't waste your money. The all about reading for sure is going to nail down those phonics skills. So good, like I'm very thankful that you got the all about reading. The good and the beautiful, you might, once you start doing the all about reading, you might be like, why are we even doing the good and the beautiful? Like it's barely doing anything for us. You might end up feeling that way. So just scrap the good and the beautiful. And if you feel like you need to add in like a writing or a grammar or a spelling, whatever, you can do that. But yes, the good thing about the good and the beautiful is that the lessons are, especially in the earlier years, like short. And so if you're doing all about reading with the good and the beautiful, it's almost like you're kind of like covering all your bases with that. What about science and social studies? Rachel, right now for science and social studies, like I'm just doing the Schoolhouse Discoveries boxes. So like these get delivered to me every 8 or so weeks, and we pick like what science topic we're going to do. We just finished weather. We're getting into bugs next. And then the social studies is really where I've been doing the 5 in a row. So I don't know where I put that, but 5 in a row. So what, 5 in a row covers all of that for us. Science, social studies, history, lots of geography with this. Like whatever story we're reading, we talk about like where we find the country on the globe. We make recipes from that country. We learn about the history of that country. So I'm not using like a full science and social studies curriculum. I'm kind of like filling in the gaps with this and with the Schoolhouse Discoveries. This box is the Schoolhouse Discoveries. I would open this and show you, but it's actually a huge event for me. I'm trying not to show my address on there. I'm purposely not opening this because it's a huge event for me and my kids. Like they get so excited when these boxes get delivered. They already know the unit. They chose it. I let them go online and choose the unit. Pretty sure I have a coupon for this too on my page. I want to say there's like a 50, maybe, I think it's like 50% off coupon on my page for this. So good. Swear by this. I think this is our 4th unit now with them. All the materials you need are included. You do not have to add anything to it. Super awesome. How do you do all about reading and all about spelling? Okay, so I made the mistake. I did not know this, but when you are doing all about reading level 1, you are not supposed to be doing all about spelling level 1. You're supposed to finish all about reading level 1, no spelling, just focus on the reading. And then when you get into all about reading level 2, which I have over there, you will add in all about spelling level 1. I'm kind of breaking the rules a little bit and doing these 2 together because I just wanted to try them out, and my kid's already a really strong reader. So the all about reading for us wasn't super necessary. However, all about spelling, we are sticking with this every single day forever. I think all about spelling goes to like level 7 or something. So we're going to stick with that forever. I haven't tried the KiwiCo. I swear by Schoolhouse Discoveries. And by the way, Schoolhouse Discoveries, I found them at a homeschool convention. It was like this little booth years ago of moms, like just like you and me, like just homeschool moms that came together and developed this cool subscription box thing. And it ended up being one of my absolute favorites. And I just think it's cool because we're like supporting a small business by going with Schoolhouse Discoveries, which I think is so cool. So our school day is about 3 hours, and that's, somebody asked where I got that schedule. I made that schedule and it's on my website. My old schedule is free. You can edit it, do whatever you want with, but the new one is part of my 5 in a row planner that you saw on there. But anyways, our school day is about 3 hours. So 9 a.m. I'm trying to start earlier, but right now it's 9 a.m. I get my oldest daughter situated. And then we usually finish fully by 12. Some days we finish a little earlier, which is awesome. Some days we finish a little later, and those are usually our rough days where you see me making videos like ready to pull my hair out. And I do so my day in the life videos on YouTube, you can find all my day in the life videos. I post them all on there. People that are like officially subscribed, like paying subscribers for my Facebook and TikTok, I put more on there. It's just like more personal day in the life where you can see the timestamps. I keep my day in the life videos super real. Like you will hear crying, screaming, yelling, farting, burp, like whatever. You will just hear it all. And especially if you're one of my paid subscribers, I don't even edit those videos. Like I literally, like you'll hear me cussing. Like it's just the reality, right? So that's where you can really see like a play-by-play of the times and whatnot. But some days really go smoothly and we can get it done from 9 to 12 is like our typical range. Show us the homeschool house. I'm in it, if you can't tell, but I'm sweating my butt off because it's so hot. There's the hallway. Ricky finally got the baffles up, those weird styrofoam things you see up there. All the walls are done. I did start doing the curtains. Oh, it's blocked. You can't see the curtains. I did start doing the curtains, and then we've got to get an AC in here, though, especially after tonight. I'm dying. It's so hot in here. But it's coming along. It's coming. It's like the slowest project ever. Everything's so expensive. Okay, does All About Math come with the games and supplies? All About Math has, I'm going to show you. I'm so glad you asked that because I took this tub out tonight and I told my husband, I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to like need this tub, but let me show you because you asked. So All About Math has this. It's a manipulative kit, and inside it has everything for all the way up to level 4. So what's cool about this is this will get you through all of the levels of All About Math. The problem is you got to pay for this separately. So it says levels 1 through 5. I didn't know there was a level 5. But anyways, this does not come with All About Math. That is annoying to me because like you're paying for the curriculum. Why do the manipulatives not come with it? A lot of companies are like that. Same thing with Math with Confidence. Math with Confidence, you need a lot of stuff with Math with Confidence, like pattern blocks, money, freaking, look at this, clocks and money, and you got to make flashcards, whatever. None of that came with it. I had to go onto Rainbow Resource website and buy the manipulative kit, which was way overpriced. But you could just go to the Dollar Tree and get all that. In the front of the teacher's guide with Math with Confidence, it will tell you like everything you need to get. Singapore dimensions that I was showing you earlier. Singapore is the same way. The dimensions, you got to go buy the stupid manipulative kit or piece it together yourself. All of them are like that. Now that I'm thinking about it, Christian Light Education, it's all separate. It's so frustrating. And then, oh my gosh, this too. All of these curriculums, All About Math, Math with Confidence, not Christian Light. Christian Light does not do this to you. They have these things called Black Line Masters. So you already go and spend the money on the teacher's guide and the student workbook, but then you got to go on the website and print out more worksheets called Black Line Masters to use for your games. Like, why would you not just include that? People are spending all this money on curriculum and you still have to go do all that. So that is one thing you will run into, especially with math curriculum. It is so, like, one day if I ever write a curriculum, one thing I will do is like an all-in-one price, no black line, don't even do Black Line Masters. Just put the worksheet right in the curriculum with the game. Anyways, Amanda, yes. Okay, Art of Reading. This one that I was showing you, do I have a code? There's something on my website for this. It's either is it a code? There's something. I don't know if it's a code or if it's just a link, but it's on my website for sure. I know almost all these that I'm showing you. This one I know I have something for because the creator sent me this and was like, can you try it out and post my website on your website, so I know it's on there. The Horizons is actually really cheap. Yes, Horizons is cheap. And let me show you. And I do love Horizons. I know I'm not talking about it that much, but it's not super involved. Let me show you. This is all my Horizons right here. Let me show you. Here. This is Horizons math, okay? So, yes, Horizons is cheap, which I appreciate, and I do have I know I have a coupon code for all AOP Horizons. But this is student workbook number 2. Horizons usually is split into 2 workbooks, book 1 and book 2. This for kindergarten, this kindergarten level, is book 2. So the end-ish of kindergarten level. And like this would be day 1. You do the front page, and then you do the back page. And that's it for the whole lesson. So I think that's what's appealing to a lot of people with Horizons is it's like you do the front page, you do the back page, and then you're done. Once you get into the higher grades with Horizons, you do more than just one little page a day. But even at this kindergarten level, right, just front page, back page, and then you're done. So you're not getting manipulatives with this. It's not super hands-on. I think that's why they can keep their prices so low, because there's just not a lot involved with this, which could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on what your kid needs, right? If you've got a kid that just wants it straightforward, not all the extra crap, Horizons would be a good one. Ashley, the Math with Confidence or Singapore, like the dimensions like I was showing, I am fully using Math with Confidence right now, so I feel like I know it pretty well. Singapore Dimensions, I have not really started using this. I really dove into the teacher's guide, which I'm not going to lie, was a little overwhelming. And by the way, I did find the student workbooks. The Singapore workbooks, I do like the activities in these workbooks. They're not random. They're like very intentional, good activities for this program, but we haven't started fully using it yet. So one thing I will say though is that Math with Confidence does give me Singapore style vibes. It's not as intensive, I think. Like this is like a lot of work. Math with Confidence isn't as much work, but it still does a lot of the same like strategies. Not exactly the same, but similar. Do my kids need to be registered with the state for homeschooling? So Missy, that is going to totally depend on your state. There are some states that you don't ever have to let them know, and you literally just start homeschooling and nobody needs to know about it. But a lot of states do require you to file a letter of intent, which if anybody needs a letter of intent, I've got a download PDF one on my website. It's just a generic one. You can use it for any state. Free. Just download it, fill it out, and send it. Some states you don't have to do that, though. Some states you do. And some states you have to do testing at the end of the year. Some states you even have to provide vaccination records or exemptions. Just, it's so weird how like every state has their own thing. And no, Ashley, Texas does not. Texas is one of the freest homeschool states out there. If you're a part of HSLDA, you can also print one from there. Yes, Kirsty, thank you. HSLDA has tons of resources. You can choose to become like a member where you pay to be a part of them, which can be very helpful, especially if you need legal advice. So let me tell you guys something. So in the state of Florida, I do homeschool evaluations for Florida, and there are a lot of parents reaching out to me right now, freaking out because they did not know that they needed to do an end of year portfolio evaluation. And now the school district is emailing them saying, hey, you didn't send in an evaluation. Now your kid has to go back to school. And these parents are flipping out. And so the only way to really deal with that is to get legal advice. And HSLDA has been helping a lot of those homeschooling families that have dropped the ball, didn't know they need to do an evaluation, whatever. Like, can you imagine that? Like getting an email from your school district saying, hey, especially one mom, you might be in here, I'm not going to say your name, but she emailed me and she has only ever homeschooled her kid. Her kid is like 15 years old, only ever been homeschooled. She didn't submit an evaluation this year because it was her first year in Florida and she didn't know she needed to. And now the school district is saying you have to send your kid back to school after 15 years of homeschooling. So I'm just saying, it's freaky. Know your state laws. And if you need legal advice, HSLDA is a good one to do. Jess, I actually do not do grades yet. All my kids are 3rd grade and under. But the light units that we use for Christian Light, like let me show you this one. These light units that we do, like this is her math. After they take their test, I do put their test grade. It says test score right there on the back of the book. When they get into like middle school ish, probably like 7th-ish grade, I will start keeping records. I'll use like an online transcript generator for that. There's free ones out there that you can use where you just type in the grade that your kid got for each subject per year, and then when they get into high school, that is when you will do like real transcripts, like find a transcript generator, or use an accredited online curriculum that will do it for you. I have not used Calvert, although somebody told me that Calvert is very, very, very similar to LifePack. I have not used Masterbooks, but the company did reach out to me and asked if they could send me some Masterbooks, so I will be getting some soon. Yes, oh my gosh, Classy, email me like right now. Anybody that needs a homeschool evaluation, I am completely booked until September 1st, and I think you said September 2nd. Oh wait, no, you said yours is due in September. So if you need a homeschool evaluation in June, July, or August, I literally cannot even squeeze in another single person. It's like back to back to back every single day. And I got to, homeschool my own children. So homeschool evaluation people, I am fully booked. If your homeschool evaluation is due in like September, October, November, even December, email me like today and I'll get you on the schedule. What is more hands-on, Math with Confidence or All About Math? I would say they're pretty equal. Both of them require you to start the lesson with a hands-on activity, manipulatives, counting bears, whatever it might be, and then you finish off the lesson with some kind of worksheet. Math with Confidence it's pouring rain right now. I don't know if you can hear that. Math with Confidence does have a little bit more independent practice, like in the actual student workbook. Like this. Let me show you. After I do the game with my girl in Math with Confidence, she goes into her workbook. Oh my gosh, it's pouring. And she does her activity. Math with Confidence, or All About Math, does not really have a lot of independent practice like that. Do you have to send your declaration of intent when they're in kindergarten or first grade? So most states are going to have an age requirement. So like Florida homeschoolers, you do not need to submit a letter of intent until your kid is 6 years old. So if you've got a 5-year-old starting kindergarten, you do not have to send in the letter of intent. You don't have to do anything. When they turn 6, you can submit your letter of intent and just say they're starting kindergarten or even first grade. But every state has, I think the state of Washington is like 7 or 8 years old. Like some states, it's pretty late. Some states, it's 5 years old. So you got to know your state laws with that. I love Abeka, Sabrina. I don't know the other one that you're referring to, but I am a fan of Abeka. I have heard that Coastal, that the new Good and the Beautiful is better. I have not tried it. I am so turned off by the Good and the Beautiful from our personal experience that I feel bad because it's like I'm not giving the new one a chance, but I have heard that it's better. Who do you send the letter of intent to? Your school district, not your state, not your town. Like it'd be your county. So like in Florida, it'd be like Pinellas County Homeschool Office email address. Oh no, if you got the Good and the Beautiful, honestly, try it. You might end up loving it. Some people absolutely love it. Just try it and see. Some people really, really love it. Hannah, do I need the flashcards for the learning to read if I'm doing All About Reading? I did invest in the flashcards. I have them somewhere. But you don't necessarily need the physical flashcards because in the back of your teacher's guide with Christian Light Education Learning to Read, you are going to have a list of all the words that are on the flashcards. And since you're doing All About Reading, they're going to be nailing down those sight words. That's what the flashcards are really for, is like sight words. You'll be getting that with All About Reading. Oh my gosh, can you hear the rain? Christian Light or BJU? I like Christian Light. I've heard good things about BJU, but I just haven't personally used it. I do want to try teaching textbooks. I have not tried it. I've heard mixed things about it. Logic of English is another one I have not tried. I've heard good things about that one too, though. I used The Good and the Beautiful last year for my first grader, but thought about switching. Jess, if you, like, I regret not switching when I noticed that I thought some things were missing. Like, I stuck with The Good and the Beautiful for the full kindergarten year because I was like, we're going to push through. Everybody loves this. It's got to get better. And it wasn't until first grade where I really was like, dang, like, I don't think my kid is, like, doing very well with, like, spelling and reading. And that's when I really started looking into, like, other options. But if your kid is, like, doing well with it, I would go on the IXL website and do that diagnostic test, because I know The Good and the Beautiful has those little unit tests, but I don't trust those. Do, like, IXL diagnostic, or even, like, an assessment, like MAP assessment or something that you pay for and take at home, like a state assessment, and just see how they're doing. If they're doing fine, then just keep going with it if it's good for you. I'm nervous. I have 3 kids. It is, once you are doing it with multiple kids and you get into a groove, you will get into a groove. I'm doing it with 4 kids, and it's all a matter of, like, scheduling and, like, sitting down and, like, okay, I'm gonna do 30 minutes with this kid, and while my other kids are doing online apps or whatever, and then we're gonna rotate, and then I'm gonna work with kid number 2, and then we're gonna rotate, and I'm gonna work with kid number 3, and then find subjects that you can do all together. Science and social studies, history, geography, those are good. Bible, I do Bible together as a family. Health, the health curriculum I was showing you, we do this together as a family. Find, like, family style subjects that you can combine when you have multiple kids. Yeah, especially when you have, like, 4 and 5-year-olds. That's LifePack behind me. So LifePack is cool because it's like 10 unit workbooks that come in one single box, and you use that full box throughout the year. Yes, actually, you know what, Allie? I have a full LifePack, like, deep dive YouTube video where I go through, like, all the individual workbooks. I know we use the Bible, like, every single day, so I'm going to have that. But here, let me just grab, like, this would be a year of language arts. This is 4th grade LifePack language arts. You get your teacher's guide, which, to be honest with you, the teacher's guide with LifePack is more of just like an answer key, because one cool thing about LifePack is all the actual, like, teaching is in their actual workbook. So, like, when you sit down to do a LifePack lesson with your kiddo, you would sit down, parables and fables, you would read this together, right? You'd go through your vocabulary together, and then the rest of it they basically do independently. And this is just one of 10 workbooks for LifePack, and it's super colorful. They use photographs, which I really like. They do include Bible study within all of their subjects, not just their Bible. And then they do have unit tests in here. So you can see, like, at the end, the unit test. And it's all included in the 10 workbooks. So these are good. LifePack is one, like, when I first saw LifePack, I was like, I don't know about this, because I was so set on Christian Light education. But because some kids really do need, like, a mastery-based curriculum like LifePack, I, like, started leaning more towards that for certain kids, right? Not every kid's going to be different. Kayla, so the LifePack kindergarten, if I'm not mistaken, only includes math and language arts. Like, they don't have all the other subjects, which is fine. I don't think a kindergartner needs to be doing all the subjects. But I haven't personally used it or seen the LifePack kindergarten. Am I doing all about reading family style? No, that one I am just doing with my 6-year-old, but I am doing all about spelling. I'm combining my 6 and 9-year-old together for this, which I know sounds crazy, but my 9-year-old struggles with spelling. So this has been really, really good for her. Sam, no, I pretty much use a different curriculum for all the subjects. But there are a lot of curriculum companies that are called, like, all-in-one, where you can, like, LifePack, for example, those boxes you see, you can get every single subject for your school year with LifePack, and you don't have to mix and match. I am just crazy, and I just like see strengths like Christian Light Education, language arts, huge strength. Like I feel like this is their strength, language arts, Christian Light. But then I don't really feel like spelling is Christian Light's strength. That is why I'm using the All About Spelling along with the Christian Light language arts. And that took me a couple years to be brave enough to do that. Like when you first start out, a lot of times it's just easier to go with like an all-in-one program. That's actually why we started with Abeka. When we won the Abeka curriculum, I was like, oh cool, it's all the subjects in one. I don't have to mix and match. But then like as the years go by, you kind of learn your kids more and you learn what you like and what they like, and you'll feel more comfortable mixing and matching. Or maybe it's your first year and you're comfortable mixing and matching. That's fine too. Yeah. For me, I love Christian Light Education math as well, but I do still feel like their language arts is their strongest subject. I have not tried the Beautiful Feet, but that is one that I have every year. I'm like wanting to try that one. I just haven't. Okay, we did math with confidence second grade, decided to switch to Christian Light third grade. I'm curious to see how that ends up going because I feel like math with confidence kind of got this like there's like a rumor that this is behind. I don't really know that it is. I think that because you're doing games every day, it might feel like it's behind, whereas Christian Light is like pages and pages and pages of independent work per day. So if your kid wasn't really into the games and all the hands-on stuff with this, they might end up loving this. Like my third grader loves Christian Light math and doesn't want to touch this. She wants nothing to do with these games. So it really, again, it just depends on how your learner is, how your kid is. And there's like placement tests you can do on the websites to see like what level to start everybody with. Like maybe one kid needs 5th grade math, even though they're in 9th grade. Just go back. It's okay to go back to however many levels you need to. If my kid is not struggling with spelling, oh wait, where'd that go? Where'd that go? If my kid is not struggling with spelling, which level should I get for All About Spelling? Okay, any of these, the All About Learning, so All About Spelling, All About Reading, All About Math, they're gonna have, I'm gonna show this to you. It's like a little checklist, and I wanna say they might even have placement tests on their website. But look at this. Find out if your student is ready. They have these things in the front of the teacher's guides of the All About Spelling, All About Reading, and All About Math that will tell you if they're ready for this level. I'm pretty sure those are also on their website so that you can like go through and see what level to start your kid at. Don't just guess. It's probably not like you might think your third grader is ready for third grade math and maybe they're not, right? Is Horizons considered advanced? We are finishing kinder and first grade yes, I think so too, Manning. Horizons is like gentle in the sense that they're short lessons and it's not too much work day after day, but I feel like the skills move fast. And a lot of kids love that. My kid did not. She freaked out. She was like not ready for that. Yeah, let's believe that. Yeah. That's how I felt. But again, like I use the Horizons preschool program and we love that. It's like fun and cute and gentle. But when we got into that Horizons kindergarten math, it was like, whoa, very fast. I thought my first grader was doing great. Now questioning if I should redo some things. If you're questioning it, again, I know I'm like a broken record. I swear by that IXL diagnostic test. Not only will it tell you what grade level your kid is on, like it'll say like, oh, they're on a 2nd grade level for math or for reading, but it will also nail down the skills that they're struggling with. Like they're a 2nd grade level for math and they really struggle with telling time. And it will tell you specifically. Would you recommend waiting to start grammar if the child is a struggling reader? Yeah, I probably would. I would really nail down those early phonics skills first. And then if you're going to add in a grammar, maybe like just very gentle, like that, like I said, that fix-it grammar is one that I really want to try. It's like a short like sentence a day or something that apparently is like really good. Oh, I did the Woodcock-Johnson test in April with her. That's a good one to do too. That's one, I haven't done that one, but I would like to. I want to do all the tests. Tracy, I swear by the, hey Sab, I swear by the learning to read handwriting. Every single day, they do just a little bit. Like, I'll show you. Hold on. Okay, well, this is the 9th light unit, so it's like a little bit further into the program. But they trace and then they write. And in the beginning light units, there is a little rhyme to go along with each letter. So it's like when you do the letter A, like you go away from Mr. Smiley, up and down. And it's like these little jingles that get into their head for handwriting specifically. I also love Abeka handwriting. Again, I know it's controversial. I love it. We did try handwriting without tears, and it was weird to me. Like, it was weird. But so many people love it and swear by it. So maybe if I would have just like stuck with it for a little while, we would have ended up loving it. But it was weird. It was weird. Which one was that with the little jingle? The learning to read program, they include heavy handwriting practice with this. So it's called learning to read, but it really includes your reading, your handwriting, your spelling, your phonics, everything all in one. I did like that it tested for their age. That is what made me, that made you question the good and the beautiful. Yeah, I get that. For online curriculums, I typically recommend Time for Learning or Mia Academy. And the reason why is because both of those programs have printable activities and worksheets to go along with the video lessons. So they're not just staring at a screen and answering questions. They actually have like printouts that your kid can do along with the video lessons. We did try Acellus Academy, and I was not a fan of that. And by the way, Acellus and Power Homeschool are the exact same program. One is accredited, one is not. One is more expensive. That's all the only difference. Does Mia identify gaps? Not really. And unfortunately, Mia Academy does not have like a placement test. I don't know if Time for Learning does either. I don't think they do. I wish more online programs had like a reliable placement test. But again, you can go use like IXL diagnostic or something like that to figure out their level. But it is kind of annoying that they don't have that. We love All About Reading, but need a good handwriting. That's my thing. If we switch over to All About Reading fully, like for my next daughter, I don't know what we're going to do for handwriting because we've always relied on this to cover our handwriting. So maybe Abeka handwriting, because it's just like a handwriting book that I like. Christian Light or All About Learning, they're both amazing, honestly. Coming from the Good and the Beautiful, Christian Light might feel a little overwhelming at first coming from the Good and the Beautiful, but like we did all right with the switch. All About Reading is a little more gentle, and you're only doing 20 minutes a day, and you just stop the timer and you shut the book when you're done with the 20 minutes. It's not like Christian Light where you have to finish the full lesson in one day. Which, although you could break up your Christian Light education lessons if you wanted to, I used to do that, but now I'm like, let's just get it done. I just want to get it done. The Smile Zemi, we had that for a little while. They sent me that. I have a video on it, I'm pretty sure. Smile Zemi is cool because everything is included on that tablet. The problem that I have with Smile Zemi is that it was very expensive. I did not like how expensive it was. But it is a cool concept. That just went away. I have not tried Hooked on Phonics, but I like all the old programs. Like the longer a program has been around, the more I trust it. So like all these new programs coming out, I'm like, why bother? Like that's why sometimes when I think about starting a curriculum, it's like, why like reinvent the wheel? There's really good old ones out there, and Hooked on Phonics is one that's been around for a long time that I really like. That's why I love Christian Light, because it's been around forever. And I do love the All About Math. Yes, I love it too much. I'm struggling with like my choices now. Okay, my phone is gonna literally die any second. So I am gonna log off here. If you're not following me already, make sure you're following me, because I'm pretty sure every single thing I talk about here, I probably have a video on. And my Facebook people, I know I was ignoring my Facebook side of things. I'm live on there too. All of the lives that I do, I repost to YouTube. So if you couldn't be here for the whole thing, or you want certain questions answered that I answered earlier, I post a live the whole 2 hour ordeal on YouTube, so you can go look at that. And then my paid subscribers, we're gonna start doing like weekly lives, like literally scheduled lives. I just got to figure out a schedule for it. I put a few polls out there to see what worked for everybody, so that is coming. I just got to get through this summer and figure out our schedule. Okay, so messages, TikTok messages, Facebook messages, all that just gets covered up. I don't know. I don't get access to a lot of those. Email is usually the best way to get a hold of me, and then especially my evaluation people. If you are a Florida homeschooler and you need a homeschool evaluation, I am completely booked until September. So if you have like an October, November, December date, just email me now. I know that's so crazy, but like my schedule just like filled up so fast. So anyways, all that to say, we will schedule another live too. Look out for that. I try to schedule it ahead of time so y'all can see when they're going to be. They used to be like regularly scheduled, but my schedule is just too crazy. So look out for the event notice that will pop up. Okay, I'm going to sign off now. Goodbye, everybody.